It's Dorks with Dorks, season 2, episode 13, and it's just me and Tony again because no one else wants to turn up, Tony.
Yeah. We're just that fucking cool, aren't we?
Well, exactly that.
Obviously.
The good news is, I can't remember if it's next week or the week after, but we've got Woody back on a Tuesday for at least
Ooh.
4 weeks. So what we'll do is we'll do 1 week, record an episode, the next week record 3 hours worth of content, all
Yeah.
10 minutes worth. So we've got loads of stuff backed up. It's great. But other than that, mate, how are you?
I'm not too shabby, mate. I'm not too shabby. I'm always doing that thing of working during the day, coming home and doing the family man stuff and being generally knackered. I've started to get over my little coffee COVID whooping cough nonsense and I'm also just coming down from seeing the Venga Boys last week. That's what's been going on with me.
Yeah, that was like that for you was your sausage and cider festival, wasn't it?
Mate, and then some. So this ain't a lie, this ain't exaggeration, right? I strongly believe that, like, song for song, Venga Boys are one of the best groups ever in the world.
Yeah.
And since I heard them, which would have been like 26 years ago, I was a massive fan. I got the piss taken out for it. And then I went through my entire teenage and adult life still enjoying them, but couldn't tell a soul until a few years ago where I was just like, do you know what? No, fuck it. I love Venga Boys and I don't care. And I've been on a mission to try and see them since. And finally, last week at 90s Fest in Sheffield, I managed to get it. I saw Venga Boys live.
To be fair, like obviously you sent the poster for that ages ago to the group. When we first started the group, I think that you put that in there about that and the lineup for me and you. I mean, Woody probably looked at you and went, "Oh, I know the Venga Boys." Me and you, that was like the fact that obviously, you know, I messaged you about the Out Here Brothers when you sent that video. That was my moment for that one because obviously I've told you before that me and Malik were mates and I've been trying to get hold of him for years. And the fact that we're there really upsets me because I can't get in touch with him. Like it bugs me. We were close, we were friends, and I'll always have that moment.
I should have thought ahead, really, shouldn't I? Take a little sign with your phone number on it, and hopefully, you know, he would have called Super Relic.
Yeah, Super Relic's number. Call this. You could have pretended to be me. Probably would have believed it.
Just some English white boy, yeah. Just that would do.
Basically. I have been obviously I was on my own last week, so I did that little bit of content that was on my own, just an office tour. But I've upgraded again, so I'm not going to lie.
It's just so much shiny, cool stuff is just appearing week by week there.
And I've still got so much more to do. It's great. Oh, I love it. But I'm not going to lie to you. I know, obviously, the reason you couldn't record last week is little and real with that. But I'm just saying, if any of you ever do that to me again, leave me on my own. You bastards.
You're going to tidy your office more?
Yeah. 1 o'clock in the morning, guys, you can hear it. I had to turn the volume up so much of me talking because I'm at the beginning bit where I'm talking. I was like, oh, I've got the clip microphones.
Yeah.
I'm like, so this is me going to show you around my office.
The Z helmet behind you.
Yes.
Is that wearable? Can you put that on? Not like, can you put it on for me now, but like, can it go on a human head?
Wait. Not only is it wearable, Tone, but you can talk like lords.
Nice. So
basically, dropped and broke it. That was your fault.
Oh no, he has.
That's all right. It always happens. Ronnie is obsessed with that one. I've got videos of him. He literally puts it on. I was having the voice on, and he sings Ghostbusters while wearing it.
Nice.
So it is I'm very anxious when I go off to work, like when I stay at my mum's and that. Every couple of hours, I'll intrude. He's in my room, even though it's his room as well. Is he in there?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, you're intruding on his space, but
yeah, it's nerve
Yeah.
wracking because
He's got a little corner with
it's
some mega blocks in it. You've got bloody Power Ranger helmets, Power Ranger toys, posters, wrestling chairs, all
to be
sorts going
fair.
on.
To be fair, the main thing he goes for is the Lord's Head helmet and the Infinity Gauntlet. But that's not even mine. That's my stepson, so you can have that. I just like think it just filled up a little bit of space over there that was sort of there was
Yeah, yeah,
I had nothing tall enough to sit there. But obviously, I know you don't watch much, but have
yeah,
you watched anything cool? Or have you? Obviously, I know we both watched the Joker 2 trailer earlier,
yeah.
and without we didn't dive into our thoughts on it then because we were saving it for it now. You said your exact words, I believe, were aroused.
Very aroused, very aroused. So
I,
Joker One's like one of my favorite films. It's probably in my top 10 films.
it's the only film I've ever seen at the cinema 3 times.
Oh wow.
Mm. I couldn't stop going.
Yeah, well, no, clap to that. But yeah, the second trailer, and as you know, I don't really do trailers for films that I have full intention of watching.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
sometimes I've got to do a favor, because Woody's not here, Scott's not here, the third's not here. I've got to pull some weight, I guess. And yeah, so I watched it for you, and yeah, very aroused. I was super skeptical about them saying, "Oh, it's going to be quite musical," and they might whether that means they were singing or it's just got a heavy soundtrack or whatever. I was like, I don't know about this, but from what I've seen so far in both trailers, it works. Works for me.
I, I was thinking this because I think they haven't fully shown us the songs that I think they are going to be singing in it because the gist I got of it. They haven't
Yeah,
shown, but they're giving you little teasers of it, like when they softly sing to each other at the end
yeah,
and he walks away. I think the songs and what will make it make sense because obviously how can this film now be a musical when the first one isn't? Because the whole point of these movies is that stuff going on in his head, and it's all
exactly. Yeah,
twisted stuff. I think the musical and the songs, like when you see him on stage and he's dressed as a Joker and she's in like the yellow outfit and
yeah,
whatever she says, like let's give them what they want. I think that them sort of scenarios will be in their heads, them singing
yeah,
and dancing, and they'll just still be them in Arkham Asylum dancing around
yeah.
with each other. I think that's the idea.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put it past whoever wrote and making these films that given the first film, how he had that sort of like, I wouldn't say it was necessarily a fantasy, but a false reality that he was friends with his neighbor lady,
Oh,
and,
the
and
one of the best
and
parts of that film.
yeah, right. I wouldn't be surprised, like you say, because the whole musical aspect might be in his head. Like if Harley Quinn didn't end up just being a bag of flour in his cell, like, and he's just made it, put lipstick on it and gone, yeah, it's Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Because see, that's one of the things I love about the end of the first one. That end bit where he's obviously him at the end telling the story. And he's sitting there with a cigarette and he sings "That's Life," and
Yeah,
you're led to believe that he's just killed that woman because he walks off and the blood from like that bit. The idea of that is to make you think: did this all happen? That's the Joker, isn't it? Like that's what a lot of
yeah,
people think to about the Joker. We don't know his backstory, and that's what's so fucking good about this. Is that it leaves everything's open.
yep,
Like technically, we're all concerned that this Joker may never meet Batman because he's already old and Batman's young. What if Bruce Wayne's already older and this is just him thinking he was there?
yeah. What if Batman versus Joker in his universe has already happened, and he's like, I really want to be the Joker, and he fancies himself as a Joker, and he's written his own backstory to this person that no one knows about.
I was so skeptical when they said Todd Phillips was directing the first one, but after seeing that, I'm like, and that trailer that came out today is like, mate, please take all my Joker money. You gave me like that's the Joker. I mean, when I do Halloween, I always do like every gig throughout the week is a Joker. I dress up as the Joker and I do different variations, but the main one, the Saturday night, is that version. Always that version. and I
Yeah,
cannot wait for this year because everyone's going to be the
cannot wait.
Joker again. It's going to be Joker Central again. I actually once I was flyering 2007, so even before the movie came out, I was doing the Joker when I was doing flyering for outside of Yates, the bar in Romford, and I was like going out trying to meant to be getting people in and that, and there was a Batman. Someone dressed up as Batman, and just for shits and giggles, I've gone out in the street. Oi, oi, come on! So me and him, like, we're bantering, having a laugh, like coming in like proper the Essex Batman and Joker. And all of a sudden, about four more Jokers come walking down the street, and I went, "Squad goals, motherfucker!" And that's it. We're all chasing Batman down the street. What made it funny is that they got back. Um, the head doorman that was outside was like, I'd seen him watching me doing all this messing about, getting people in and joking about the Joker, then this. And he stood next to his bloke. He goes, "Ryan, have you met Colin?" I went, "No, nice to meet you, Colin." He went, "Colin's the area manager for Stonegate." The bloke that's been stood next to you for the last 45 minutes has just seen me doing all. I'm not going to lie, the guy liked me.
You've got an endearing character, haven't you?
No, I'm a dickhead.
That's what I meant.
Lovable dickhead. Not even lovable. Not even, you can't even put up with me. That is a struggle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know the other guys haven't. Look, I'm numbered babysitting you now.
literally, this is what I'm saying. If on my own last week, I could only do a 5 minute bit of content. Otherwise, I'd have been sat here just talking to myself for an hour. And I've done it. If you go back to when me and Ash first brought it back, there was an episode where it was just me because he couldn't do it, and I was like, "We've got to do it." So I did an episode on my fucking own.
Oh, mate, I've been there doing podcast on my Todd. It's equal parts terrifying and also like very very real. Of going, well, you know, because I'm the one speaking, I can hear my voice. Am I literally the only person that's going to hear this ramble for an hour?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the only thing that stuck in my head and the reason I went, I can do it, is because of radio. Obviously, because I do radio, I do it. But the difference was just continuously talking. I think I only did 35 minutes. I was like, just going to get stuff, and it was just talking about stuff that had come out and that my opinions on it. Yeah, it was very weird. So, like, let's not leave it alone again because it gets very strange. And
but let's commend your dedication and your commitment, mate. Talks with Dorks it is the house that you built.
no, it's the house that we all built, but I just I had this idea that I can't let go. So I need all the cogs in the wheel, like you guys, to keep me going and motivated. Otherwise, I'd probably just give up. Do you know what
Well,
else I've been watching? Oh, go on, carry on. What was you going to say?
I was going to say, well, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Again, just babysitting, just making sure you've got someone to talk to. And, it'd be a real added bonus if people not only listened, but commented and said, "Ryan, what a great job you're doing, mate."
Thanks. No, listen. For me, like I've said, we've probably not said this in a while, but obviously we started this February with us, so we're
Hmm.
now into like month 6 of doing this. Like
Wow.
where we've got it to, like the production side of where we've got it to, the conversation we're having, we're comfortable. I won't lie. Within 5 minutes of this starting this episode, I actually was thinking to myself, that is probably the most like eased into episode me and you have done since we've started doing this. Like, not just me and you, but like since we do that, we just eased into it. Like usually there's a little bit more settling in.
Hmm.
Probably recording content before helped, but it was just most eased in episode we've done. So well done you for fucking just settling into the role and getting used to it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm used to it now. I've got my rhythm. Just as long as I spit on it first, hook to it.
Good. Yeah, there
Yeah,
goes the
mate,
gif
we're
again.
good. We're good.
Absolutely. But what I was saying, something else I've been watching, and I think it's because I'm excited for Deadpool and Wolverine, is Welcome to Wrexham. Do you know what this is?
Oh, yeah, it's the Reynolds documentary about him buying and running the football team, right?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I have been. I started watching it, and I've been so invested in it. I'm not meant to be a football fan. It probably the excitement for Deadpool and Wolverine, plus watching the Euros and getting into a bit, watching a bit of football over the last few weeks.
Lad, lad, lad.
I'm a fucking geezer. You know what I mean? Um, I put this on, and I've actually really got into it, and I like that it's not all about Ryan Reynolds and Macaroni. It's about the actual town and the people that, not just the players, the
Okay, yeah.
people in the town. It's really good, really fucking good watch. I know you'll probably never watch it, but just to our listeners, if anyone hasn't watched it and considered it, give it a go. It's all right.
Do you know what we talked about this months ago, so it might have been bloody month 1 or 2 that we started this. And I don't feel like you have watched it, but again, it ties straight into Deadpool Wolverine is X-Men 97. Get on that.
Guys, I started it again. I don't know what it is, but there's certain things that I'm trying to get back into the boys. And I thought I was back on season 2. I know I've only got Gen V in season 4. And I tried watching X-Men 97 twice. And I've sat watching the first, and I get so distracted that I don't. I struggle with trying to get into newer stuff. Unless, like Cobra Kai, there was 5 episodes. I know I love Cobra Kai. And I've done all 5. And like, I got up Friday morning with Ronnie running around, and I just watched the whole lot. Got through them
So
all.
talk to me about this because you as our leader, you you know you'll set us homework or you'll set us a little task or you'll say, boys, watch this, guys, I'm watching the shit out of this, get on that. And I don't feel like anything's grabbed your excitement as much as Cobra Kai, like since we've started this. So like I get it, it's a spin-off or it's a long awaited sequel to the Karate Kid films. It's all in the same universe and what have you, but I was never a massive fan of the Karate Kid. I appreciated it as a kid. I watched it a bunch, probably. Um, I've never watched Cobra Kai just because I didn't find, Karate Kid. It was one of those films that I fondly remember.
Wow, that's mad for a kid of our age because it is a classic.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's another one of them films that I watched as a kid. Karate Kid. Again, it was one of them films that I didn't have part 1 at home on VHS. I had part 2, but
Mm-hmm.
part 1 was always on the telly. I remember seeing part 3. Then there was the next Karate Kid. There's just something about them films that was great. And then, do you know what it was? Did you ever? You probably didn't. How I Met Your Mother.
I've watched episodes. I don't know the full story arc or anything like that.
There was a really good episode of that where Barney Stinson, who's played by Neil Patrick Harris, who's
Mm-hmm.
like the organizer, his favorite, he loves the Karate Kid, but he has a different outtake on the Karate Kid. Obviously, you know the basis of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Daniel turns up to this new area. He's getting bullied by these kids because he likes this girl. He meets Mr. Miyagi. Cobra Kai, it's the bad guys.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Barney Stinson has this outlook on the Karate Kid that's completely different. That
Is it the Thanos
Daniel,
theory
what's the Thanos theory?
that Thanos is the good guy?
Yeah, yes,
Right.
basically. So that Daniel LaRusso is the bad guy and Johnny Lawrence is the good guy. So the idea is that if you think about it, Daniel turned up uh, as Johnny had just been broken up with Ali, the girl.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he turns up. Johnny wants to come over and just talk to his girl, which is what, if you watch it and you see the sense of it, you actually go, this actually makes sense. Because like when you first see him, he comes over and he's like saying to her, I just want to talk to you. They just had a breakup. And then there's this guy out of nowhere that's butting in. So what
It's
happens?
Johnny come lately, just moving into your town, nicking your
Yeah.
bird.
So it's like the idea of it is like how like this whole story is backwards really because he's the one that's upset. He's a broken-hearted guy. Of course he's going to be angry. Of course he's going to pick on someone if he's bigger than them and he can look after himself.
And
And
if
even
I'm
like,
right, did he not win by like nefarious means as well, sort of underhanded tactics, right?
the
Sweeping the
crane
leg.
kick, the crane kick that which is the famous thing in it, that your arms up and the kick.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an illegal move to the face. You're not allowed to hit the
Right.
face.
Okay. Cool. Right.
So So that was that. I think that is what spurred the idea for Cobra Kai, was that there are people interested in it and people have their theories in Cobra Kai, and Cobra Kai kind of starts with that. You're sort of Johnny when you first meet Johnny as an adult. He's like a bum. He's drinking. He's living in his car. He doesn't speak to his kid. And it's like everything went wrong for me from that moment. Whereas
Hmm.
Daniel now owns a car lot. He's like all the billboards around California are like when them cheesy American billboards like
Yeah, yeah,
kick to the face, come get a car off me,
yeah, yeah.
bonsai, like you get a free bonsai tree with every car. It's so cheesy and corny. So that's what makes it cool. You kind of come into it like, I actually really like Johnny. Daniel was actually a bit of a douche for the first season or two. But as it has evolved, like it's Daniel. Do you know what I mean? He kind of
Hmm.
realised, do you know what? Maybe I have gone down. Like I've been a bit of a dick with it. Like Johnny, just considering Johnny the arsehole. But it's how all the stories interweave, because like throughout 6 seasons they've brought pretty much everything from every movie. So the first one is Johnny, the second one is where he goes to Japan, the third one is back in America, and it's against Cobra Kai, but this time it's another guy called Mike Barnes. They interweave all of this into the story, and like the tributes to Pat Moriarty, who played Mr. Miyagi.
Hmm.
Like honestly, man, it's one of those sequels, like we've had a lot of lately, where they're remaking things or continuing
Hmm.
things. Not all of them are great. Ghostbusters was fantastic, but certain things haven't been great. Independence Day 2, horrendous.
Hmm.
This is what everything should be based off. It's perfect. The perfect continuation, because it's adult swearing, and there's a lot more adult with it, but it's still got that 80s classic film feel to it.
See, I feel like that's what. God, I forget the little tagline of the Power Rangers, always and forever. I feel like that's what was missing there. I get it. It was literally a Power Rangers episode moved on 30 years, but there's a bunch of us. I don't think you're included because you loved it, but there's a bunch of us that were hoping for a little split of, yeah, we want that cheese, we want the spandex, we want the typical Power Rangers plot, but we want maybe a bit of swearing, maybe a bit of fingering or something.
That's probably why Kimberly refused to be in it. I'm not doing it. Nope.
Yeah.
Kimberly's not getting fingered. I don't care
So
how many
with
boys have thought about this all their life. I am not getting fingered.
so with Cobra Kai, again, I watched Karate Kid. I watched definitely the first two. I think I watched was number three the one with the girl.
No, that's the next Karate Kid.
Okay, right. So I've seen that one as well.
Number three, don't think I saw till I was a lot older.
Right.
I remember
Would you
one,
say I
two,
need to
and
go
the
back
next.
and watch them to watch Cobra Kai?
No, but it's worth it. It's worth it just to refresh your memory on the stories, because, like, like I said, every season there's something that they go back to. That
Hmm.
there is a way of bringing something from the past and how they do it. So it just makes sense to refresh it. Like my friend James, who I work with, has started listening to the podcast, but he's like, right, I went to listen to your first episode of your podcast, the very first ever episode, and it was Cobra Kai season 3. And I've been saying I'm going to watch it. So now I cannot listen to your podcast, the first episode, until I've gone back and watched all 3 Karate Kids, possibly the next Karate Kid, and then 5 seasons of Cobra Kai ready for season 6, in which he's done. And he's now he said, I
God,
haven't.
is that many of them? Wow.
There's 3 films with Daniel, the next
Yeah.
Karate Kid, but wait, there's also, so this season of Cobra Kai is 3 parts. There's 5 episodes dropped last week, 5 episodes coming in November, and 5
Hmm.
more early 2025. They have also just wrapped on a new Karate Kid movie, and we know nothing about the movie, but the way they announced it was they had Ralph Macchio, who plays Daniel Lawrence, announce
Hmm.
it, stood next to Jackie Chan.
I was gonna say, yeah, because he was the Miyagi of the new Karate Kid, wasn't he?
So,
Universes
I,
collide.
yeah, because luckily, the good thing about it, which was something I actually hated about the remake, was Trey was the kid and Mr. Hart was the Miyagi. So it wasn't the same names. But
Hmm.
now it actually makes sense, because I think by the end of this season 6, there will be something interlinking that movie with the rest of it.
Okay, yeah, bit of fan
Be-
service.
yeah, because there's a lot of there's a generation of kids like my niece loves that one. Trini, my missus, she knows that one and only knows has only ever seen this one because of me and Brad watching it.
Hmm.
So it's going to be all linked. And I'm like, dude, like you honestly, if anything I've told you to go and watch from doing this, Karate Kid and Cobra Kai is the one because you have watch the films to be able to see the fan service they do and how they do it.
I'll try just for you, Ryan. I'll try and carve some time to get back through those films and at least watch at least a couple of episodes of Cobra Kai for you.
Okay, I guarantee you'll get hooked. And the next thing I'm going to point out, right? Okay, any one of your mates that listens that have seen Cobra Kai need to advise him on this because you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Which I was thinking, as we've done Cobra Kai, there was another film that I watched recently that I've been saying I'm going to watch for ages, and I really hope you have seen it. I don't think you have. Iron Claw.
No, and I've got no real interest in it, to be honest.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so very, very quick little history lesson about my wrestling fandom. I grew up like a lot of kids only knowing about two wrestling companies, WWF at the time, WCW. I was heavily WWF guy. I would actively not watch WCW. Like if I saw it was on, I'd just not having that. And then growing up, learning about history and stuff, I was like, cool. It's nice to know where these things come from. But I've rarely watched anything outside of WWF that was like, or going back further back than my original viewing of WWF. So like, I don't really see. I don't think I've really seen anything before WrestleMania 1 of any
Right.
company. And I through blogs and vlogs and what culture this and cultaholic this, I've learned a lot about the Von Erichs, and I just don't need to sit there to be. Well, we know the outcome for most of them. I don't want to be miserable watching through, watching a film.
It's that it's not. It obviously wrenches in your heart because spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen it. Von Erich's the basic story is that most of them passed away. Most of the Von Erich brothers, bar Kevin, passed away, and he's not even he's. I think no, he might have passed by now. I don't know. I might be wrong. He might still be alive, but it is a tragic story. But I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed the film. Is what I was gonna say. It's a really good film. There's little bits of it I could have done with improving, but I really liked it. I like the story. I like the I like Zac Efron and how jacked he looks.
Zac Efron, I'm not going to shit on. Like, I haven't seen High School Musicals and stuff, but every other film I've seen him in, I'm like, guy's all right. Like, he's doing no harm to me, apart from being
It's
ridiculously good looking.
it's that, isn't it? It's that lad mentality. Like I used to hate Leonardo DiCaprio because every girl loved it because of Titanic, and I
Yeah.
hated Titanic even though I'd watch it all the time. I watched that film loads when it first came out. I had a pirate copy of it. My uncle was a dodgy. No, I won't say that any further. They get me in trouble. He used to make the old fucking pirate movie. You know what I mean? But yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, so it's that mentality of like Zac Efron was like good looking lad that all girls love, so you kind of like you hate him just because of that, but you can't help it. He's a great actor. He's funny.
Yeah, he's got some natural charisma for sure. So some of the things I've heard about the film, again, like I'm not bothered that I've heard them because it's not going to sway me. And I want to know if these are the things that bother you: is the wrestling scenes being okay, not like great, but again, this is like an archaic form of sports entertainment wrestling. It's not the WWE we know today. Was that a bother for you? And then the second thing I've heard a lot about is the actor who decided. to take some like artistic liberties with playing Ric Flair and just sort of making it up and not being Ric Flair at all.
Right. They were two of my negative things. The wrestling could have been more. There could have been more to the wrestling and done better. It was, yeah, especially because I just watched Fighting with My Family as well, and obviously you're watching the production of that. They had the capability. They're a big movie company. They've got the capability to make it look good and do
Yeah.
more with. It wasn't much to it, and yeah, Ric Flair. I'm not gonna lie, it was horrendous. Like they should have just got the guy who played Ric Flair in Young Rock because he was
I was
brilliant.
going to say about Young Rock and some of the characters that we saw on there, like really missing mark, especially in season 3. I feel like season 3 was a bit of a laugh of just going, how far do you think how shit do you think we could make this before someone goes, oh, hold on? Like, I feel like it was just a laugh.
I see. I liked it all because it's never you're never going to get the proper actors, but the fact that it was a
Mm.
comedy sitcom, I thought every single one was brilliant that they cast because they don't need to go. It's not a movie, so it doesn't need to be to a T. And there's a couple like the Stone Cold guy is tiny.
Yeah, yeah,
He looks more like Gilbert than he does
yeah, yeah,
Stone Cold. But he's and Triple H. But again, I love that show. I actually really enjoyed Young Rock.
yeah. I
And
really did. Apart from season 3 again, which I think is a joke.
the reason I loved it because I don't know if did you ever read the Rock book when you were younger?
No, no, actually, I didn't. I've got very few wrestling books, and Rock wasn't one of them. Just never picked it up.
That was the first one I ever got because it was that book that made me think I want to do this.
Oh
Because
yeah.
what I loved about the book was sorry, what I loved about the show was there's a lot of elements of the book that I'd read and I've read that book loads of times that I've imagined
Hmm.
because the Rock's telling the story in the book and he's telling the story in the show and it's exactly like it. The only story that was
Yeah,
not
yeah,
I wish he had was his losing his virginity story, which is quite funny. That was in there.
yeah.
That would have been good.
I'm glad it actually measures up. There's a lot of people. Again, I don't know what like sort of authority they've got to say. Oh well, things didn't happen like this, and that couldn't have been right because so and so was never working for so and so and whatever. Um, there's a lot of negativity, but if you kind of strip away the wrestling purist from it and just be like, oh, it's just a sitcom about The Rock growing up. I felt like it was very, very enjoyable. I loved it.
Yeah, I really, really got into it, and I would gladly wait for another season, but they cancelled it. But we got enough, and it was a
Mm,
little fun
yeah,
thing. Now he's chairman of the board, so he'll be doing a lot more stuff to do with wrestling. Hopefully, if he comes back.
I'm sure we'll see him around Survivor Series time, family reunion.
Great link saying seeing him around randomly. If I said the name Joe Wilkinson, do you know who I'm talking about?
Joe Wilkinson.
You will know who I am. Have you
I've got
seen?
two people in mind. One is the fitness guy who got us through lockdown by doing bloody star jumps in our living room, or the hairy comedian.
Hairy comedian that was in Afterlife and Eight of Town Cats.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay, right.
I saw him at a bus stop in Brighton the other day.
Did he have a brown suit on?
No, he had like a blue jacket on, but I knew it was him because we pulled up just right next to the bus stop, and there was like three people around talking to him, and I was like, look, it could have been people he knew, but he just knew he was like sort of
Being
having
interrogated.
a bit, yeah, having it be like having to entertain for these people. And I just looked, and
Yeah.
then I clocked who he was. At the time, his name weren't coming to me, but I knew straight away. I was like, Afterlife, and then cast like Joe Wilkinson. Yeah, little celebrity spot in Brighton the other day. A lot of people saw Jack Black in Brighton the other week. I see Joe Wilkinson.
Well, Jack Black's a little more newsworthy now than Joe Wilkinson, isn't he? Oh boy.
I hope it's not him, is it?
No, but he's has to be involved. And well, that's the end of Tenacious D by the sounds of it.
Which, I mean, I know the joke was bad and you shouldn't have made the joke, but like their whole thing has always been like on like the stuff that is on the
It's
nose,
on the
isn't it?
nose, pushing the envelope. Yeah, yeah. But I think
Uh,
it comes with two things. One is the change of the world since Tenacious D come out. The whole world is a different place to what it was 20 odd years ago. And also, you'd probably think on a personal level, Jack Black's a different person. There's a lot of celebrities we grew up watching who were fucking insane or insanely funny or a, a, like a bit on the nose. So like people like we'll keep Jack Black in there, Steve-O, all the Dirty Sanchez boys. They're all vegan, straight edge now. Things have changed. Lee Francis, he is no longer the casually comically racist comedian. He's scrapped all that and he's apologized for that. Things and humor has moved on a lot. It just seems like maybe Carl Gass forgot where he was and what forum he was doing it on and who it was about and the landscape of the world. I think you're right. 20 odd years ago, that joke would have been said, it would have been laughed at, and then by the next later that night, it would have been forgotten about. But it's a different place now.
yeah, and but the thing is, to me, the reaction from Jack Black was like instantly, "I'm going to break up the band." It's like you'd think he'd go, "Yeah, it's wrong. He shouldn't have said that. I don't agree with what he said. We'll take some time out and that." Not like just throw like it's all him. It's basically like him saying it's all his fault, and he done it like he's never done anything wrong. And it was like, didn't I don't know. Yeah, there's probably more to it, but I didn't like his reaction. To me, it kind of was like it was like he was saying he was looking for a reason to break up the band and have to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'll do it. That'll do.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. But then at the same time, if so, it happened in Australia, and I don't know if you know anything about Australia, but it's damn strict about who it lets in and who can stay and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And obviously, the prime minister or president, whatever they are in Australia, immediately got them said like, "You're cancelling your work here and you need to leave." Because I suppose if you're a political figure like a president or a prime minister, and you're allowing that to be said about who could be one of the most powerful people in the world in a few months, you've got to sort of like choose your side, isn't it? And who are you going to pick? Bloody Tenacious D or Donald Trump, who's got the big red button? I know who I'd want on side.
Well, Biden's gone, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, let's not go down that
Again.
topic.
We said we don't do political talk, but yeah, it's fucking due time, man. I felt sorry for the guy for a long time, and so is Trump as well. Like
It's
Trump's actually
bad, isn't
shown
it?
compassion against him. Like,
It's like, I mean, again, I'm not into all politics, but you see videos of him, and it's like, that. I'm not being funny. What country is meant to be intimidated by America with him in charge? Like, it's not this. I haven't seen one like speech or anything he's ever done where he's not messed up or fallen over or said the wrong
yeah,
name. It's like, man, like, and it weird. Like, we all wanted him in because we wanted to get rid of Trump because it was like, what the hell's Trump doing and stuff like that. We got him in, and 5 minutes after he came in, and he stood up and he went, "I'm the president." It's like,
pretty
oh
much.
no, what are the next 4 years going to be about?
What's the saying? It's better the devil you know, or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Then Trump was sitting there that night going, "Well, I'll be back in a few years." That's all right.
Yeah, and here he comes. So I guess I don't know what happens now. I've heard that Kamala Harris is now taking Biden's place, so it's her against Trump and whatever. Cool. Let's ride out this 4 years because in 4 years' time, Dwayne's going to run, right? And The Rock's going to be president. So
That's what
let's
I
look
keep
forward to
thinking.
that.
I swear to God, it's the only reason I'm paying attention to like what's going on with the election because I'm like, the way this is playing out is a movie. At any second, you're going to hear, "If you smell what the president is cooking," and he's just going to come out.
And
The
just rock
final
bottom Trump.
boss, yeah, fine. Well, I don't know. The guy has just dodged a bullet. Like maybe, well, he can't even do Biden. Maybe that Kamala Harris birdie rock bottom her, and then it would just stand. All right.
With the millions and millions. I would want to become a citizen just so I could vote.
I'm in. The fact that Young Rock was based around his presidential election made me think he wasn't. He was going to run.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not too late. I say that we've got 4 years for him to move into that political arena. And would it be a shocker? No, it wouldn't shock me at all now.
I mean, I could like if he does it, he's got to do the final boss character. Could you imagine the final boss turning up to the presidential
Turning
election?
up in a Versace fucking waistcoat.
Yeah, literally, and just put Mama, Mama Trump, Mama take over, just whipping Trump with a belt.
And then the television debate is obviously whoever he's running against, talking about, education, about healthcare, about homelessness and, employment, and then The Rock just pulls out a guitar and it's time for a rock concert. Yeah.
Oh my God. Trump was running the country down. This guy ain't but nothing a clown. I don't know if that didn't even make sense, but ain't nothing but a clown. That's what I mean.
Yeah, we got you. We got you.
I could, I could get down with that. I could get down with The Rock being the
Get down.
president, mate. If not, do you know who else could be a good president candidate?
Beetlejuice.
I only say his name once. I ain't dealing with that tonight.
What, Beetlejuice?
You
You
say it
only
one
say
more
that
time.
once.
You can say it 3 times if you want, but you see, hopefully he turns up in your house, not mine.
Will he do the washing up?
No, he might try and take your missus off you though.
Beetlejuice.
I had a feeling you were going to do that. I've got a question for you.
Go on then.
What's the biggest movie you've never seen? All of them.
Well, yeah. So we just recorded this after we've recorded a game about movie taglines and movie quotes, and I let it be known I've seen 7 films. Now I've seen a few more than 7 now. So in lockdown, I started this big list, big spreadsheet. I'll send it to you. It's really fun of all these massive blockbusters I've never seen, and I haven't got through all of them yet. And there's still some on there.
Pulp Fiction was on there, I remember.
Pulp Fiction was on there. I've seen that now. I think I'm going to have to say biggest films I haven't seen are probably some of the later Harry Potters, which I'm more than happy to see once I start, having time for movies again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to say it'd be that list probably Lord of the Rings and The Godfathers.
Okay. You know what? I'm with you on that. I've never seen a Lord of the Rings. I ain't got patience for that. Like I've never seen Game of Thrones and House of Dragons. I don't mind. One. I've never been into like medieval stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been into that. Like I've never seen Gladiator. Was one on my list. I've never seen.
Oh,
Never
that's
seen Gladiator.
that's one of the ones I've seen. Yeah.
But and the mad thing is, I had Gladiator on VHS, and when I first got my first ever DVD player, it was one of the first films I ever had on DVD. Still never had it. Still never watched
So
it.
just on that note, before we go and find out about the films that you haven't seen, then because it's only right that we find out about yours, and you can't say Lord of the Rings now. Do you remember what
I,
your first ever VHS you bought, as out of your own pocket money or paper round money or whatever, and then the first DVD you bought?
well, my DVDs will be easier because I I got a DVD player with I think it was 5 films. Okay, that my mum got me with the DVD player, and I remember Gladiator, The Matrix, South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, Urban Legend, and there was something else. And do you remember the DVD cases when they used to have to? They were like cardboard and they clip
And
open.
then the clip open spine, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loads of them. What was it? Matrix, Gladiator, South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut, Urban Legend, and a Man United DVD.
Why not?
They were the first ones that were ever bought for me. First one I ever bought for myself would have been. Oh, should be easy because it's there. I think it was American Pie, maybe.
First one.
Yeah, I think that would have been the first one I ever bought myself. I don't remember what first VHS I ever bought myself. What about you?
First VHS I bought myself was Dumb and Dumber.
Nice.
First DVD I got was Kevin and Perry Go Large. And then, speaking of American Pie, in year 7, my science teacher lent me American Pie on VHS. And that's the end of that story. There was absolutely no nonsense or anything afterwards. He just.
46 minutes into an episode, and there it is.
No, Mr. Plester. Mr. Plester, even though his nickname was Plester the Molester, he molested no one. He was the coolest science teacher ever. Dapper suits, cool glasses, cool hair, fun guy. Yeah, and we'd lend each other stuff. So he lent me like American Pie. I lent him a memory card with all the Tekken 3 characters unlocked. And yeah, we swapped videos and we swapped games and stuff. Yeah, cool guy. But yeah, so your films that you've not seen, your big hoorah blockbuster.
I was going to say though, it's weird. I had a business teacher exactly like that, Mr. Gardner. We used to them films. I remember lending him my Mummy 1 and 2 box set. He also he made me a couple of CDs. I think it was a Stereophonics CD or something like that that I've been wanting to get hold of. We used to sort stuff like that. We got on really well. We'd always we're into the same things. Never touched me either. Really nice guy.
Yeah, good. No nonsense. No nonsense.
Leave the nonsense out this week. So yeah, John is again. You said I'm not allowed to say it. My list, the first films I thought of was Gladiator. I've never seen Lord of the Rings. Now Godfathers. I've never seen them, and I have never seen Rocky. Any of the Rocky films, original Rocky
Wow.
films, all the way through. I've seen Creed and Creed 2. Never seen 3.
Okay, yeah.
Indiana Jones is another one.
So Indy's on my list as well. Rockies were on my list, but I got through them. Amazing. So Rockies, man, don't be shy about watching them. They're a super easy watch because basically, spoiler alert, this is how they go. Rocky is, one of the people, even though he goes on to become a world championship boxer, he's just a guy. He's just a guy like me and you, but, really muscly and freakishly strong and fast and all the rest of it. And then someone comes up and's like, hey, I want to box Rocky. Rocky's like, no. And then they're like, yeah, but I want to box you because I'm better than you. And then Rocky's like, fine. And then he goes training really hard. Then he goes into the fight. He gets 7 colors knocked out of him. Sometimes he knocks it back out of them. End of film. It's so easy to watch. All of them.
I know the gist of it, and like I said, I've seen bits and bobs. And I was, it's like, what was the film we were talking about last week? I think it was Pulp Fiction, wasn't it? When you were saying that you'd seen all the best bits. I've seen all this. It's one of them films I've never gone back and watched because I know the gist of it. I should, but like generally, if I was on Netflix and I saw Rocky, I'd probably go for something I'd already seen. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So no, I would say definitely try and find time for number 1 because that is the most grounded film out of them all, and it's an actual film. It's like before they got out of hand with the montages and the training sequences and all the rest of it. It was just a really raw film, and there's some really endearing magic about like how shit it is as well. Just like the production quality and all the rest of it. There's something really like I find comfort in films like that. So hopefully you do too, man. Get to watching those.
Oh, I'll watch Rocky if you go and start Cobra Kai. Do the Karate Kid films and Cobra Kai.
That's a bigger ask, but all right. You got a deal. You got a deal. I'll find time to watch the first Karate Kid within the next week.
Pinky promise? Right. Okay, so next time we record it, you should have seen at least a Karate Kid, and
Hmm.
I should have seen a Rocky. All right, okay. I'll stick to it. I'll do it.
Yeah, good, good, good.
I mean, I love the chocolate. I love a Rocky chocolate
So
biscuit. Oh,
chocolate, yeah, Rocky is a chocolate Monty, and the order definitely goes classic caramel and then whatever like fruity ones they've got out.
no, no,
Original
no.
first.
Original first,
Yeah,
caramel. And yeah, no, I don't go near any of the others. I don't go
like
through
the
fruit
Rocky
and
Orange.
chocolate. No, fruit and chocolate. No, no.
Whoa, 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 whoa. But Terry's chocolate orange.
He can suck a dick. Terry can keep it. And I know that it's not Terry's. It's mine. No, Terry is Terry's, mate. You can have them. It's fucking vile.
Picnic, picnic with raisins in.
Devil. Dickens chocolate. No,
Oh my days! When you think you know someone.
no. Chocolate and fruit. No.
Strawberry creams from Quality Street.
I only ever like the gold caramel things in Quality Street.
The toffee fingers.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'd ever have.
You fucking child.
Yeah, and them and then what was it? Roses was just a dairy milk.
Yeah. Oh man,
When they
I don't
brought
know how I
Heroes
feel
out, I
about
was like,
this.
yes, I'm more into this. Heroes is only a bounty I'll give away.
No, Heroes is no bounties in celebrations. And
Oh,
here's another thing, right? Quality. It goes Quality Street roses, and then Heroes. And now, don't get it twisted. Roses is actually worse than Heroes. So then, why is Heroes in third place? It's because Heroes is just ordinary chocolates that you can get every day of the year, just tiny. Whereas Quality Street and Roses are specialized, or what should be tinned chocolates.
did you used to have the guy that used to come round that nicked them all from Woolworths at Christmas?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My nan had the guys. So yeah, my nan had these guys who just nicked fucking everything. And of course, yeah, yeah, Christmas chocolates, Christmas food. In fact, the whole I think the whole of our Christmas at my nan's was sponsored by these two guys, including
We,
presents.
I was from Basford, man. We had a few of them. Like, you used to be able to give them a list. You
Yeah,
should
yeah.
go. Like, it was. I mean, it was. I'd say about 10 years ago was one of the last times we had someone that would do stuff like that. And I remember like got sent to this. I was like, oh, if you can get me like some, because I'm fed up with paying 20 quid for razor blades for me Gillette Fusion. Give me some Gillette Fusion. I'm like, probably won't because of the tags and everything. And then just like random stuff that I just didn't want to pay for anymore, like super prices. Got it
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Got the lot. Love it.
Don't condone it, but it's good to know.
Yeah, he who dares what he who dares. We can't listen. We don't condone stealing, but if you're gonna make Christmas a little bit cheaper, I'm all for them guys.
Yeah, especially in cost of living crisis. You know, these guys are Robin Hood. You know, they're stealing from the big global conglomerates and they're giving it to us, the poor people. You know, it's a nice, honourable thing.
And them crackheads that go around robbing for you need a good Christmas as well. If they need to spend it on whatever they do to shove up them or in their veins or whatever, listen, it's their Christmas. If that's what they want, they do what they want.
Let it snow.
Wait, I could put something to you. We could potentially carry on talking, start another topic. But you have been told a little bit of advice that some of these episodes are a little bit longer than they should be. And we said we'll try and stick to an hour. Right now, we have done 54 minutes.
Oh wow!
Start another topic, but I feel like we'd go over the hour. Or we could wrap it up. What are you thinking?
So to the listeners out there who have given us this honest and welcomed feedback, I hear
Yeah.
you. I hear you. I think, you know, an hour is plenty time. But also, in the same breath, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy recording, and you know, if it means that some of you are going to log off, please don't. Please stick around to find out who wears the best superhero costume, and then you can duck out. Just at least hear us out on this.
Right. Who wears the best superhero costumes? A great question, but I needed some clarification on this. Are we talking
Okay.
actor wearing a superhero costume or the
Ooh.
superhero themselves? Are we talking? Yeah.
So yeah, in my mind, I was just thinking of forget the character, forget the actor, just the threads and stitches that make up the costume.
Okay. Okay.
But now you've
Uh,
said it, you know, we know things like Henry Cavill was probably the best looking man in a Superman suit.
yeah. Yes. Yes. He looks amazing in that suit. But the nostalgia in me will go to Reeves as just being the all-American Superman, like that truth, justice, and American way.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love the way that
Mm-hmm.
Cavill looks. He looks amazing, and I was reading something the other day. Did you know that he fought to keep the chest hair in Man of Steel because they were like, you've got to shave. Every other Superman's had a shaved chest. He's like, look at the comics. You see Superman without the top, he has chest hair, and I think it looks great. I think it looks amazing. It shows that he is just a man, but he's just a man from another planet.
Yeah, yeah. See,
Um,
I didn't know that, but also I feel sorry for whoever it would have been on wardrobe or makeup or costume because I bet someone was absolutely dying to shave his chest because I would.
oh mate, I'd lick it if he wouldn't let me shave it. I'd give a little on
Man
the
crush
old.
Cavill,
I would literally tweak them nipples like a radio being tuned in back in the
a
90s.
little bit of fluff.
Mate, I would eat his belly fluff. I would scoop it, suck my finger afterwards as well.
So Ryan would chew on Henry Cavill's toenail clippings for shits and gigs.
Hey, listen, belly fluff, toenail clippings, whatever you want, Henry, send it my way. Let's get this bit clip to go viral.
Oh god, if the first encounter we have with like a true iconic celebrity is Henry Cavill sending a fucking envelope or a little jar full of his toenails for you to chow on, I'm all right with that.
Yeah, of course you would be. I've then got
Yeah,
to put my
yeah.
money where my mouth is and eat the fucking things. And I bet his feet stink after all this.
No, no, perfectly pedicured, perfectly sculpted, no hairy toes, none of that, no toe bogies. You know, Henry Cavill, he doesn't
He's
do
probably
toe
got them.
bogies.
He's probably got them like proper bent over, like yellow.
I had
Oh,
a great uncle Pat. I don't know how accurate or how true this is, but he went to fight in World War Two, and he ended up getting his foot run over by a tank. And I was just like, why would you stand so close to a tank that your feet would get run over? But people tell me that because his toes were all in different directions. He had those big, thick, dirty yellow green toenails that you had to fucking angle grind off. Uh, legend of a man. But yeah, disgusting feet. And he
oh.
always had them out as well. Why do people do that?
Yeah, I can't tell a story that I'm thinking about in my head because yeah, no, I can't.
Mm?
No, because I work with someone with bad feet. Yeah, so
And you want to keep your job.
superhero costumes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if I was going by look of superhero costume, I'm probably it's going to go back. If I'm going by an actor in a costume, it's probably going to be Keaton because of the cow.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about that suit to me is perfect. Is
Mm-hmm.
the ears a lot like a long. I like the short ones, but I like the long ears. The only problem with it is the compatibility with the neck thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But looks wise,
Very,
it is
very
definitely.
stiff.
If I had to, what made me think of it was, like I said before, I've always wanted like a mannequin with a costume on. The first one I'd want is his as much as I Superman is my favourite superhero of all time, Batman's so close it scares me. But that would be the costume I'd choose.
See, I've got a bunch of questions for you now. So, okay, Keaton, we know Keaton is your favorite Batman, and now his suit is your favorite Batman suit. But you've got those practicality issues. How do you feel about the Dark Knight suits, so the Bale suits, where they're more tactical armor, less comic booky, just more practical?
I don't think let me the only Batman costume I've ever had an issue with, and I'm talking like I've been okay with Bat nipples in the past, right? The only one I had was weirded out by was Pattinson's. Even though I love it, the cowl
Mm-hmm.
looked weird to me. Just
Yeah,
didn't look
yeah,
right. I think that as time goes on, he's going to get a better like his cowl, but I don't know why, it
I know
reminded
what you
me
mean.
of Catwoman's cowl from Batman Returns.
Mm-hmm.
Made leather, but it's like it didn't look like it could take much like damage to it.
Or it could be about as useful as Adam West's.
But at least Adam West was fitting with the rest of his costume.
Yeah.
Pattinson's costume is like really cool, like it's robust and all that. It's just the cow is always weird for me. But that doesn't mean I don't like it. I love him and I love that film and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It just always stood out to me as the cow.
No, I'm with you on that, and I don't think I would have been able to put my finger on it. But now you've said it, I think that is exactly it.
Mm. Yeah, see, I know my Batman. But yeah, well, I can't remember why I'm starting talking about Pattinson, to be honest.
Because we was asking about Bale and the practicality of his suit. So it's more about it's more about being real and practical than it is comic booky and superhero-y. Like how do you rate his?
I love his because of what their movies are meant to be. Their movies, there's no supernatural element to any of it, is there?
Hmm.
They're the most grounded Batman movies you could get. There
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that everything in it realistically could happen.
It's push it a little bit, but yeah, no, I know what you mean.
That was the whole point of it, and that's what I love about that costume. It fits that. It's practical. If it was real life, is Batman going to make a costume where his neck can't turn? Obviously not.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's going to be the fact, and like the fact that he reminded me of like what they about one of these thrill seekers. You know what I mean? Because he did more of the. You saw a lot more practical of him, like skydiving with it. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
zip lining and stuff like that. With Keaton, I've got the fucking gun up there, the grapple gun up there. When he uses the grapple gun,
Yeah.
and he flies up in a way that no man is going to be able to hold on to. Like everything was realistic. So yeah, I love Battle's Castle, but it's just not my favourite.
I'm not shocked, but I'm also surprised about your choice because I would go. I There's definitely some honourable mentions. So like Iron Man is definitely
Mm.
up there. Some Spider-Man costumes are up there for me, but my ultimate superhero costume, and it goes from like fond memories, and it goes
I know
for
where you're going.
just look is the White Ranger. Yep.
Again, the Rangers costumes. I think second, to be honest, close second to Keaton's um, outfit for me to have a thing would be the Green Ranger. Would be the Green Ranger. But I go back again. I had a version of the '89 costume when I was a kid before I got into Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I it's the first one that comes to mind, so I know that. Yeah, I mean, you just know, you know. Like then it's like, oh yeah, it should be Green Ranger, then Superman. But yeah,
And when you're saying Green Ranger, because there's been there's fan made, there's cosplay versions, there's American, there's Japanese versions, there's updated versions. Have you got one in particular that you'd have on your mannequin?
probably the I hate to say the original, the Zeo Ranger version, because I can't say the Mighty Morphin version because that shield is horrendous.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd probably go for the Zeo Ranger, but then at the same time, I love the version of the costume from the Green Ranger versus
yeah,
Ryu.
yeah, 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 yeah. So it's got like the hexagon little print on it, and like the cuffs are just a little more cuffy, and
Yeah,
the helmet's got a lot more relief to it, hasn't it? Like a lot more
yeah,
detail. Yeah,
I love that. Like that is that looks like the best version. Realistically, it looks like the best version of that costume.
it's somewhere in between like what it would be if it was a film and the show. That's
What it
just
what
right in
what
the
it should
middle.
be. And I've said it before. I was never a fan of the show costumes. Big fan of them. The movie
Hmm.
costumes. Sorry, movie costumes
Oh,
weren't. I I think one of the things that stood out to me is that Tommy looked really short in his costume,
hmm.
and he was my something about it. He looked short. I don't know if it's the way the shield is, but he looks so short in that movie. And I like them. They're okay, and I could deal with it for the movie. But I was never like, oh my god, they're amazing. I'd rather that one over the. If I was going for the White Ranger, I'd go for the White Ranger.
Yeah, see, I never clocked his looking Tommy looking short in the movie. But I'm with you on that. Like, if I had a mannequin with a suit, it would be the show suit. I'm not. I've grown up and I'm not against the movie costumes at the time, and I think this happened a lot as a kid. So like, I don't know if we can count Mario here because that film was fucking dire. But anytime a series or a cartoon got changed into live action or to a movie, I was just like, why have they pissed around with the wardrobe, the costumes and whatever? Like, why? Like, that's not what I wanted to see. But then at the same time, like Power Rangers, to an outsider is fucking laughable anyway. But can you
Yeah,
imagine putting out a proper like blockbuster movie and your heroes are wearing the show suits, like the fucking spandex? Like it wouldn't hold up in cinema, would it?
no, no. I don't. If they would have done it like the Green Ranger versus Ryu, absolutely upgraded
Yeah,
it and
yeah. Say
to make it
somewhere in
look
between.
shinier. Yeah, that
Yeah.
shinier. I, I don't know. There was something about them costumes. Like it was too different to me. Like I just remember thinking it was too different to what we had, and the fact that it also annoyed me. Then like we get into season 3 of Power Rangers, and the movie's been completely ignored, and they get ninja powers a completely different way, and it's ninja
Oh yeah,
rather
because
than
the film
Sasuke.
wasn't canon at all, really, was it?
It made like what was the point? Ivan
Do
Ooze
you,
was an amazing bad guy, and we got Dulcia, and in the TV show we got fucking Rito Revolto.
and Ninja,
Ninja.
and also okay,
Power
so
Rangers.
good impression, really good.
Yeah.
So there's one thing that did bother me about the movie costumes massively, and I think it would have been. Oh, try to think back. I think Rocky had one and Aisha had one, a helmet that could change, like fucking headlights on it. I was like, even as a kid, like, and we're talking 90s technology, I was like, those fucking headlights, is that really the best we could do? Like, they were fucking huge. And then Rocky's little visor thing, like, why would you, even as a kid, I thought, like, why would the helmet need to change if the technology's already in there? Why would you need to put anything on the outside if the technology's in the helmet?
I'm telling
Um,
you, their idea was to make money out of toys, but I don't remember seeing any toys of them helmets like that.
I don't remember seeing much of the movie toys at all, to be honest.
I remember the I remember there was two versions of the Ninja Falcon Zord. There was the one that was the show version, which was
Yeah,
in the green and black kind of boxes that the other ones came
yeah,
in.
yeah,
And then there was like a silver version for the movie version, and it was metallic, more metallic. And that was
yeah,
it.
yeah.
The toys that came out were just weren't the costumes. They weren't the costumes. They were just metallic. They were just like the shiny
Oh, so yeah,
silver.
no, I have seen those then. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So like they changed all the costume of that and gave us the same toys we'd had over and over and over, and just made it shinier.
And before we wrap up, then one more little gripe about the whole crossover between the series and the movie, right? So the movie was our introduction to the ninjetti suits, the ninja suits, and series 3 they brought that into the show. But why did they have movie quality ninjetti costumes for the show for the movie, which does make sense? But if that's all owned by Power Rangers, why didn't they use those, the movie ones, for the show? Like, who said no? That's too good to use for the show? Because fuck me, were the show ones piss poor?
They were the slit eyes, like they were just like
Yeah,
typing the eyes on, and it was horrendous. I was the same, and it annoyed you because when they morphed into the ninja costumes, you saw the movie version didn't you, without
yeah.
the turtle bandanas that they've got around their eyes, and then it changed into that. And like, oh man, they were horrendous. Them ninja costumes, I preferred them in the movie than I did the actual costumes.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wanted the White Ranger one. I remember a Power Rangers magazine, was giving you a chance to win one.
yep. I had that magazine, and I knew I wasn't ever going to have a chance to win it. So I begged my auntie Doreen, who was a bit of a seamstress, just make me one. Just make me one. She's like, it's not as easy as it looks. I was like, oh, look how simple it is. Why can't you just make it for me? I was so wound up. I even liberated some bed sheets to take from mine to take to her. I was like, look, you can just use these. She never made one. She made me some banging apple pies though.
Back to American Pie.
Full circle.
Warm apple pie.
I would never do that to Auntie Doreen's pie.
I would. Give us a number.
She's been dead for like 20 odd years.
I'm so sorry. Why do I say stuff like that? I'm so sorry. On that note, this has been season 2, episode 13 of Talk with Dorks. I'm Ryan, that's Tony. Tony, hit him with your socials.
Tony of Bingus the 90s on TikTok. Tony of Bingus on Facebook. I'll do some Twitter stuff now and again. That's where I'm at. And rest in peace, Auntie Doreen.
I love you, Auntie Doreen. I wish I could have met you. I'm at the DJ Ryan S / put his foot in his mouth all the time. Our social networks are simple. We are on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, everything at Talk Podcast. We've also got our 15% off code with Tree Frog Grading. Don't forget, if you like card collecting and you want to get your cards graded, go to Tree Frog Grading's website and put in the code TWD15 to get 15% off. Tony, final words.
Much love to all you yogurt chewers out there, and I would much rather Ryan put his foot in his mouth than his fingers in Auntie Doreen.
Yep, I'm going to go eat some Henry Cavill toenails. See you later.
Bye.